Ladies and gentlemen, there's something sacred about knowing your worth. It's quiet, but it's powerful. And when someone doesn't see it, when someone overlooks the gift that is you, that's not your cue to prove yourself harder. That's your cue to pause and reclaim. You don't need someone else to see your value before you start living like you have it. Waiting for a man to validate your worth is like standing in front of a mirror, hoping it reflects something you refuse to believe about yourself. If you don't see yourself as precious, rare, and worthy of intentional love, how can you expect anyone else to treat you like you are? Too many people give others the blueprint on how to mistreat them by constantly shrinking, bending, and compromising just to be chosen. But you were already chosen. In the Bible, we are said to be fearfully and wonderfully made. Not kind of made, not hopefully made, but wonderfully. That means your existence isn't random, it's crafted, designed with intention. The moment you realize that, your whole posture changes. It's not about arrogance, it's about alignment. You stop settling for half effort when you know you were made for full commitment. You stop over-explaining yourself when you know your heart is already known by someone higher, and you stop chasing people who can't recognize gold because they've only ever handled dust. The reason some people take you for granted isn't because they don't see your value, it's because you keep giving them access without requiring stewardship. And when someone doesn't have to earn your heart, they won't know how to hold it. Even in the Bible, we are said to guard our hearts, for everything we do flows from it. That means your heart isn't cheap real estate, it's sacred space. It deserves to be honored, not handled carelessly. But here's the truth, no one will treat you better than you treat yourself. If you keep showing up for someone who only shows up when it's convenient, you're sending a message, this is enough for me. If you keep forgiving without changed behavior, you're saying you don't have to grow, I'll lower my standard. And if you keep staying in spaces where your soul is starving, you're whispering, I don't believe better exists. The power doesn't come from making someone else change. It comes from choosing not to wait on that change to decide how you'll live. Because when you know your worth, you walk away when you're being mishandled. Not out of anger, but out of understanding that love should never come at the cost of your peace. In the Bible, we are said to be more precious than rubies. Do you know how rare rubies are? And yet you keep letting someone treat you like a common stone, easily found and easily replaced. That's not humility, that's forgetfulness. Forgetting who made you, forgetting what you carry, forgetting that love is not supposed to confuse you, drain you, or make you beg. When you recognize your worth before anyone else does, you change the whole dynamic. You stop performing for approval. You stop clinging to maybes. You stop overcompensating for someone else's lack of clarity. And instead, you become the kind of person who draws love that's as whole as you've learned to be. You don't have to prove anything to anyone who couldn't see you when you were right in front of them. You don't owe a speech, a breakdown, or a perfectly constructed explanation for why you're walking away, choosing peace, or finally deciding you're done playing small. Some people won't hear your words, no matter how clearly you speak, because their ears weren't built for your frequency. And sometimes the loudest statement you can ever make is to keep growing in silence. You waste too much energy trying to make someone understand the pain they caused, hoping if they just knew how much they hurt you, they'd suddenly become someone worth staying for. But awareness doesn't create character. It's not your job to teach someone how to love you. It's your job to love yourself enough not to need to. And in the Bible, we are said to shake the dust off our feet when we're not received. Not argue, not beg, just move. That kind of exit speaks for itself. When you evolve, you don't have to say you're over someone. Your life says it for you. When your glow gets brighter, when your voice gets stronger, when your standards rise and your peace becomes louder than your pain, the people who once underestimated you can feel it even if they never say a word. They watch from a distance because the version of you they ignored no longer exists, and the version of you they see now won't accept what you once tolerated. Some people expect you to stay stuck in the story they created for you. They expect the same patterns, the same reactions, the same open door that they walk through without knocking. But when you evolve, You interrupt the narrative. And the Bible says we are transformed by the renewing of our minds, not by revenge, not by retaliation, by renewal. That means your true power is in becoming so whole, so rooted, so healed, that the old version of you doesn't even recognize the new one. You're not trying to win the breakup. You're trying to win your life back. You're not crafting captions to hint at your hurt. You're building peace so deeply within yourself that no one gets to shake it. Because when you grow, you outpace pain. You outgrow patterns. You don't respond to everything that pokes at you, not because it didn't hurt, but because it no longer owns you. In the Bible, we are said to be more than conquerors, not just survivors. And that means you don't just get through this, you rise through it. Let him wonder where that girl went, the one who used to break every time he disappeared. Let him scroll and see joy he didn't create. Let him hear about the version of you that doesn't flinch anymore. You don't have to tell him you're different. He'll feel it. That's what evolution does. It speaks for you, louder than pain ever could. People treat you how you train them to, and that training starts with the deep understanding that every interaction is a reflection of the boundaries you set. When you allow behavior that undermines your value to go unchallenged, you teach others that disrespect is acceptable. You become an open door to inconsiderate actions, inviting those who aren't willing to honor who you are. In life, your actions and reactions create a blueprint for how you expect to be treated. It is not about controlling someone else's choices. It is about aligning your inner strength with your outward expressions of self-respect. When you respond with calm certainty, gently but firmly stating your limits, you shape the way others interact with you and gradually shift the narrative. The reflection of your self-worth is evident in every conversation, every silence, and every pause to evaluate what is acceptable in your life. When boundaries are clear, respect follows, because people are drawn to the strength that comes from knowing who you are and what you stand for. In the Bible, we are said to be a light in the world, and that light comes from living in integrity and honor. It is the light of self-care and knowing that you deserve every bit of kindness and decency available. As you consistently demonstrate your worth, you begin to see that not everyone will be a mirror of your values, and that is perfectly acceptable. The key lies in holding on to what makes you valuable, allowing your inner security to guide your choices while you decide who earns a place in your sphere of life. When someone crosses the boundaries that you have so carefully laid out, it is not a call for immediate conflict, but rather an invitation for growth. Each instance provides you with the opportunity to reinforce those boundaries or adjust them to better reflect the respect you demand. In everyday moments, this might mean choosing to walk away from a conversation that diminishes you or refraining from engaging in habits that diminish your self-respect. As you train others through your actions, you send a clear message. Your time, your thoughts, and your energy are valuable resources that will only be given to those who reciprocate the same level of respect. In the Bible, we are said to treat others the way we wish to be treated, and this reminder is a constant call to align both your inner truths and your external expectations. When you set high standards for interaction by consistently acting in ways that honor yourself, you begin to attract relationships that mirror that respect. It becomes evident that the quality of the people in your life is directly linked to the quality of love and care you give yourself. Every boundary that you uphold becomes an unspoken lesson to those around you, teaching them the delicate art of respect. This process is not instantaneous. It is a gradual evolution that unfolds over time, reaffirming your self-worth with each choice you make in moments of challenge or triumph. Disappearing is louder than any argument when you step away from the noise, the constant pull of drama, and the attempts to pull you back into a cycle that no longer serves your growth. It is in the act of reclaiming your space, your energy, and your self-respect that you express a truth louder than any words ever could. When you vanish from the landscape of someone's life, who has grown accustomed to your presence without truly valuing it, you send a message that transcends spoken language. You reclaim ownership of your time and emotions, quietly demonstrating that your worth cannot be measured in the crumbs of attention you once accepted, but in the abundant fullness of your true self. It is as if the silence that follows your departure echoes with every unspoken thought, every hidden regret, and every lost opportunity to nurture a connection worthy of your light. In this process, the subtle yet powerful transformation happens internally, that you begin to see that the absence of your energy in toxic spaces leaves a void that speaks volumes about the love and respect you deserve. In Bible, we are said to let our light shine and not be hidden under a basket, reminding us that our radiance is meant to illuminate our lives and the lives of those who are fortunate enough to truly see us. As you disappear from what once confined you, you forge an uncharted path of self-discovery and rebirth. This departure is not an act of anger or pettiness. It is a deliberate step toward embracing your own peace, knowing that no argument, no matter how loud or insistent, holds as much power as the quiet dignity of self-respect. The departure punctuates the pages of your life with a grace that ultimately leaves others contemplating the magnitude of what they lost. As you remove yourself from situations that drain rather than nourish your spirit, you restore balance and create space for new opportunities, new experiences, and relationships that honor your soul. When you choose to vanish, you do not need a chorus of words to announce your worth. Your absence becomes a testament to your inner strength, a gentle yet compelling reminder that you are enough without the validation of those who once took you for granted. In Bible, we are said to be a reflection of divine love and purpose, capable of uplifting ourselves and inspiring others without resorting to bitterness or strife. The silence in your wake speaks to the resilience and peace that now define you, quiet yet unmistakable in its announcement that you have finally chosen a higher path, a life free from the constraints of expectations that never measured up to who you truly are. Your disappearance is not a retreat. It is an evolution, an invitation for both you and the ones who remain to recognize that love must be mutual, honoring the sacred trust of reciprocity and respect that our hearts deserve. Your glow up should be your goodbye, is a reminder that transformation speaks louder than a farewell note ever could, inviting you to evolve beyond circumstances that no longer serve your spirit and become so radiant that your departure leaves a lasting impression without uttering a single word of regret. And as you nurture that transformation, each step forward in self-improvement becomes an unspoken farewell to those who never truly valued your light, gently closing chapters with the soft, confident smile of someone who knows their worth. You start by embracing the journey of self-discovery, understanding that every change you make is not merely an adjustment, but a complete rebirth of your inner world. And in Bible, we are said that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, a truth that infuses your every step with the assurance that growth is not optional, but essential for an authentic life. And this inner radiance, when allowed to flourish, naturally signals to the world that you have outgrown the roles once forced upon you, leaving behind the remnants of old hurts like autumn leaves falling softly away from a once vibrant tree. As you continue to invest in yourself, learning new skills, expanding your heart, and setting boundaries with unwavering clarity, your glow becomes an unspoken promise of better things ahead, a silent yet powerful goodbye to negativity, and a quiet celebration of the joyous resilience that propels you forward. And every moment of self-love is a declaration that the time spent in the past is not wasted but has been transformed into the stepping stones of a more luminous future. As in Bible, we are said that our lives are woven with threads of purpose and hope, a tapestry that grows more intricate and beautiful with every experience and every lesson learned. When you allow your glow up to be the catalyst for goodbye, you shift the focus from loss to emergence, choosing to let your progress narrate a story of empowerment rather than recounting the pain of staying in places that dimmed your brilliance. And this evolution is not a silent retreat, but an invitation for others to witness the magnitude of your transformation, gently urging them to question whether they deserve a fraction of the love and light you now embody. And as your inner fire burns brighter, it becomes evident that your journey is not about a dramatic exit, but rather a gradual ascension from being overlooked to shining with undeniable clarity, illuminating the path for those who remain and inspiring the ones who dare to follow. And in Bible, we are said that we are more than conquerors, a truth that resonates in every heartbeat. as you let your glow speak for itself, gently marking the moment when you choose self-respect over acceptance, and with every step you take into your newfound radiance, you silently bid farewell to the versions of yourself that once lingered in the shadows of doubt and fear, transforming each goodbye into an opportunity for rebirth, leaving behind no need for bitter words, but simply embracing a future where your glow is both your farewell and your endless welcome to all that you are becoming. Sometimes the deepest lessons in life come not through loud declarations or dramatic confrontations, but through a quiet resolve where regret is born in silence rather than in a storm of words. You learn that when you step away from the constant need to defend your worth or explain your choices, you allow the subtle truth of your self-respect to resonate far louder than any argument could. And as you begin to notice this quiet evolution, there is a profound understanding that sometimes the silence of non-response holds the power to reshape relationships and redefine boundaries. In choosing to remain silent in the face of unreciprocated care, you begin to capture the essence of your inner strength. And that strength is less about the explosive energy of confrontation and more about the transformative silence that builds with every moment you refuse to be diminished by someone else's disregard. In Bible, we are said that peace resides in the hearts of those who trust in the quiet power of their convictions, a reminder that the true measure of respect is reflected in moments when a person stops trying to force their presence into a conversation that no longer values it, letting the stillness speak a language of its own that echoes long after harsh words have faded into nothingness. As you allow your silence to encapsulate the pain of neglect and transform it into a testament of evolved dignity, you begin to realize that true regret is not born out of a grand exit or a loud confrontation, but from the inner void that grows when someone misses out on the privilege of truly valuing your essence. It is this absence, this unspoken farewell, marked by the gradual closing of doors without one final argument, that speaks to the unyielding strength within you. The remorse that emerges in the heart of one who has consistently taken you for granted is a quiet, creeping echo of what was once freely given, an unassuming reminder that neglect, when left unaddressed, leaves an indelible mark on the spirit of another. As days pass in the calm after a storm of indifference, this silence builds into a tapestry of longing and introspection, a narrative written without the need for words, while in Bible we are said that the stillness of a spirit anchored in faith shines like a beacon to those who have strayed from the path of honor and care. Every silent moment becomes a powerful testament to the love you once offered unconditionally. And even though regret may slowly form in the shadows of unspoken words, it simultaneously reveals to you that the most profound act of self-love is to let go without the weight of confrontation, trusting that your quiet departure speaks volumes while leaving behind an enduring legacy of dignity that demands to be recognized without ever having to be loudly proclaimed.